Welcome back, all of us. Had a few weeks break. Thank you for that. I hope you've had a good few weeks. I definitely did. So maybe just reminding us where we were at the end of the last session, how thinking thrives on what can go wrong. These endless scenarios of how things could be a little bit different or a little bit better, and then comparing that with resting in the present moment, just as it is. So if we're able to do that, then it's almost like it takes the sting or takes the fuel out of the thoughts, if we're able just to be. So I've been on a trip, first time in a long time that I've been abroad, literally sort of really left my bubble. And what I realized was that when I'm in a bubble, like I have been, very sort of routine, if you like, and quite familiar surroundings, I can feel very settled, but still there might be thoughts bubbling away in the background, but they're so familiar, they go unnoticed. And it's only when I left the bubble that I actually notice. And so I leave the bubble, everything's strange and new, and the mind starts carrying on in new ways. And it's kind of more obvious, more striking, especially when you go traveling with me. The timetable or schedule was very last minute. So I found myself, I felt a lot of anxiety. Which platform, what time, which carriage, which seat. And then I found myself checking and rechecking and double checking and checking again. And then, of course, I was worried my phone might, at few stages, my phone battery goes dead. And then, of course, all my timetables and tickets are on the phone. So there's plenty to worry about or to be anxious about. And so try and apply the practice a little bit. And of course, in Kum Nye, we're coming out of our head only, all this anxiety and wondering and worrying, into the whole body. And the expression I like very much, which you've probably heard before, I'm sure, is the heart becomes the new HQ. So we come out of our head only into the whole body, and the heart becomes the new HQ. The head is still an important office. So we're not moving around like a zombie. We still need to catch the train, but we're not overwhelmed by thoughts and thinking. We're on the right platform, but we're also in the whole body and feeling the breath. So we're bringing those three things together: awareness of the breath and the body and thoughts. So we're creating that balance. And if we practice that in formal sessions, as we're going to do now, then we can do it at home when we're on our cushion or our chair in our familiar living room, or abroad when we're out and about and in the strange and new. So let's begin with our intention. Just take a few moments just to remind ourselves why we come to practice, that we may travel lightly through life, whether that's a very simple routine day or a more exciting day, exciting or agitating, stimulating or quite peaceful. We can travel smoothly through life. And something that we're all as close to all our hearts at the moment is peace, peace in ourselves, peace in the world. And we can just reflect on the fact that just as any sound changes the silence, any thought or feeling of peace, of well-being for ourselves, we can let that open and expand and have a real influence in the world around us. We can almost sense that. And there's a group of us practicing today, 36 of us spread around Ireland and Europe and maybe further afield too. So we can, like an aura or a halo, we can imagine ourselves connecting with each other, combining forces, peaceful forces spreading out throughout the world. And as we do the exercises, just remember to exercise kindly, gently, within your own capacity. If we engage with an exercise or a movement with our awareness on the breath and in the body, then that's Kum Nye. It's not about how extreme the physical movement is or the posture. And the exercise we'll do now is very common to all of us, but just a reminder that if you're pregnant or if you've had a recent operation or you just have tight neck and shoulders, then just move very gently, very gently. And this exercise, number 17, Lightening Thoughts, is one where we feel more in our heart. So this idea, we're bringing our attention, our energy, our awareness into our heart center. So let's begin by moving our head up and down. So the chin moves down towards the chest, relaxing in that position. And then the chin comes up until it's pointing towards the ceiling. Throat and chest opening. We continue moving up and down the chin, down to the chest and up to the ceiling or to the sky. And the next time you're looking straight ahead, just pause there in the sitting posture. Let's remember our posture, alert and upright, yet relaxing. And here's another interesting thing about travel. It's always about I moving from one place to another place. But in Kum Nye, we want to be present at every moment, feeling the movement and moving with feeling. So let's do that same exercise or movement again, chin down and chin up. This time with the eyes open, a soft gaze, and seeing everything as the head moves slowly down. That helps us appreciate every moment of the movement. So it's not just A to Z, it's all the points in between. And when the chin is low and close to the chest, just relaxing in that posture. Back of the neck opening and lengthening. So we're resting in the present moment, not anticipating the future, not remembering the past, resting in the present moment. And then again with our eyes open, a soft gaze, the chin coming slowly up, and we're appreciating every point of the movement. We're appreciating the travel. It's not just about the destination. Chin is high, throat opening, chest opening, resting in the present moment. And at your own speed, but feeling the movement, moving with feeling, with eyes open. Continue the head up and down movement a few more times. So we're aware of the movement. We feel the movement, base of the skull, along the length of the spine, but also we're aware of the space we're moving through. The head is moving through space. So the movement has a feeling of no beginning and end. Bring light attention to the occiput. Never sure how to say that word. And whenever I remember, I soon forget. It's the juncture between the top of the spine and the base of the skull. And important to breathe evenly through nose and mouth doing this exercise. We do it so many times, this exercise, don't we? So it can become familiar, too familiar, and then we switch off. So we bring alertness, attention, and relaxation, as if we were doing it for the first time. We don't go into a bubble. We're open and alert. And the next time you're looking straight ahead, just pause there for a moment. And hopefully you haven't overextended yourself. And if we've just been moving gently without straining, then there should be, or there's probably a feeling at the top of the spine, at the base of the skull. A feeling of softness or warmth, whatever the feeling. We don't really go there, even with a label or a judgment. We just let that feeling open and expand into the head, along the length of the spine, beyond the body. So then we'll move gently again, the head side to side, but this time just lift your chin just a few, maybe a centimeter. Just lift the chin a little, and then left ear in the direction of the left shoulder. Again, we're appreciating the movement. And then coming back up to the center. We're not racing up to the center. We're journeying, enjoying each moment up to the center. Chin up a little again. And then right ear to right shoulder without straining. Feel the left side of the neck opening and lengthening. And then continue that side to side movement. Maybe we can find and feel a rhythm. No beginning, no end. In the movement and in the moment. Breathing evenly through nose and mouth. And the next time your head is upright, we're back in the sitting position, in the posture. Rest there for a moment. Feel the stillness of the physical body. and any feelings or sensations in and on the body. And then we'll do the head rotations. And it's recommended in the book for the head rotations, we close our eyes and remember to breathe evenly through nose and mouth, smoothly. So not holding the breath, particularly if we come to any tight areas. So especially if your neck and shoulders are tight, then begin gently with small circles. Head forward, to the right, back, left and forward. So a clockwise direction. Giving equal attention to each part of the movement. And the next time your head is forward, with your chin down, just pause there for a moment. And then begin smooth, slow circles in the opposite direction. The next time your head is forward, just pause there for a moment. And then bring your head up, so we're back in the sitting posture. Seeing inwardly with the eyes of the senses to any feelings or sensations in the body. So that could be anywhere, but you may like to bring attention to the top of the spine, the base of the skull. And let those feelings open and expand. Maybe we can sense that we're feeling more in our heart. The head is a little bit quieter. We're feeling more in our heart, more in our body. We're more centered in our heart. It's probably the case whether we can feel it or not. If it's not so obvious, then maybe we can do lightning thoughts a few times during the week and maybe a bit longer, not more strenuously, still gently, but for a little bit longer. We'll feel more in our heart. So we're centered. This idea when we're traveling, we're moving from one place to another place. We're kind of always in an in-between state. Maybe our head's already arriving and our body's lagging behind. That's quite an uncomfortable place to be. But our attention in the body, here and now. That's actually the definition of a definition of stress that I really like, when the mind is in one place and the body is in another. We bring our attention into the body. We feel a sense of wholeness, completeness, and rest. Okay, so in terms of physical movement, we're going to liven things up a little bit, but let's see if we can bring this centeredness with us. So we're not destabilizing ourselves. We're just bringing this feeling of centeredness, quietude into movement. So we'll do a standing exercise. So again, it's one we're familiar with, but let's not go into it as if we're an expert. Let's go into it as if we're a beginner with plenty to learn, plenty to know, feel. Just have a little wriggle. We've been sitting still for a little while, so just have a little bounce or a wriggle, move whatever way feels good to you. You can make a noise. You can smile, of course. And this is a lower body exercise. So let's just, with our hands on our hips, rotate the hips a little. Make sure the top of the legs and the hips are loosened up. Reverse the rotation. And then hands on knees, with the chest up, looking straight ahead, making circles with the knees in one direction. So the legs straighten and then bend, and reversing the rotation. And then you might like to steady yourself on a wall, but lifting one foot, making rotations in one direction. I'm wearing my white socks so you can see. Reverse the rotation. If I didn't say that already, I can't remember. So rotating the ankle in both directions. And then the other foot. Reversing the rotation. Okay. So balancing the body, balancing the whole body, bringing the body into balance. Number 42. So our feet are a few inches apart, hands on hips, the chest up a little, looking straight ahead. We feel the weight equally balanced on both feet and the heels and the toes. That's our starting point. And then lifting the right heel. And then as the right heel comes back to the ground, we lift the left heel, so they alternate. Breathing evenly through nose and mouth. So just find a rhythm. Feel a rhythm until that movement becomes smooth and easy. And we'll feel we're mostly on our toes, aren't we, when we're doing this movement? Our weight is mostly on our toes. And if you can just continue in this way, but if you feel like you have good balance and you have a nice rhythm, you can accentuate going up on your toes. You go high on both toes, down onto one heel, up onto both toes, down onto one heel. So we're just accentuating the high. If you get a little bit lost, then just come back to standstill, lift one heel, alternate, begin again. Or if you need a rest, just come back to standing. And if you like now, we can also accentuate the down. So going down, or if I go down on my left heel, I keep my back straight, but lower, bend both knees as if I'm going to take a seat, and then come back high onto both toes, and then lower onto my right heel, bending both knees. So we're really extending the range of the movement now. This is such a good exercise to bring life into the whole lower body. I find it easiest to coordinate with the breath, exhaling as I lower and inhaling as I come up to both toes. My attention, my breath, my movement coordinated. And then slowly come back to a standstill. And then let your hands, release your hands so they're just relaxing by your sides. Relaxing our belly, our chest and throat. So we're dropping any barriers or obstacles to the energy stimulated in the lower body to flow and move throughout the body. The knees are soft, so they're not locked. Allowing the feeling or the energies to move throughout the lower body and into the upper body. So our eyes are open, but we're seeing inwardly with the eyes of the senses. We can do both. We can be aware of the space inside, but also aware of the space around us and above us and below us. Almost as if we could see in all directions. And sometimes when we stand or sit quietly after an exercise, we get the sense that the space inside is not so different from the space outside. There's an interaction. And we feel as each tension opens and releases, relaxing, perhaps new feelings, new sensations manifest. So we let them open and expand, flow again. So we move from superficial tensions and physical tightness to deeper layers, releasing energy on quite deep levels. Maybe until we feel a sense of lightness, until there's no feeling, maybe space in some locations in the body, maybe just feel very light, very open, very spacious. Let's bring this experience back to the cushion, back to the chair. Feel the ground beneath us. The vertebrae stacked one on top of the other like a pile of golden coins. Alert, yet relaxing. So the ground beneath us, spine straight. Aware of the space around us and above us. Breath flowing naturally through nose and mouth. And each time we realize we've been distracted, we come back to light, gentle body awareness. Supported by feeling the coming and going of the breath. And some of us have been hearing that many times. So we may be able to remain centered, light, gentle body awareness, supported by feeling the coming and going of the breath. So we're centered, we're aware. We can have our eyes open, our senses open. So we're not too tight. We're centered, aware of the body, aware of the breath, but with our senses open. So we're including the world around us in our meditation. So sights and sounds don't disturb us, they're included in our meditation. So another little insight I had in the last few weeks was when you're traveling, you realize how many connections you need to make and how you can do a certain amount to ensure that things go smoothly, but there's so much that's out of your control. It's a little bit like life. Life's a journey, isn't it? So it's a journey in the same way. And I remember my Kum Nye teacher, Arno Maitland, saying, once that, so when you recognize impermanence and interdependence in this way, everything always changing, how do I want to spend the rest of my life? And that's a big question. But his answer was with my energy flowing, open and flowing. So whatever I do or wherever I am, our energies are open and flowing. So I was thinking about that and how there's one exercise where it says in the description, this exercise, through doing this exercise, our head becomes more clear, our heart more open, and senses alive. So I thought whatever journey is in front of us today, this week, longer term, maybe that's an aspiration we could all have with our head clear, heart open, and senses alive. So let's do number 74, Wholesome Vitality. Again, it's an exercise we've probably all done before, but we'll bring a freshness to it today. So it's a standing exercise, Wholesome Vitality. And as with many Kum Nye exercises, there are quite a few instructions, and they might feel like they're contradictory. Like, for example, in this exercise, we're asked to relax our belly and tighten our buttocks, which is, even that alone is, let's try that now, why not? So as we're standing, we're getting used to the standing posture again. Feel our feet on the ground, soft knees. Just tighten the buttocks, maybe first, just a little, don't be too extreme. And relax the belly. Can you do that? Often, when one part of our body tenses up, it's a chain reaction, isn't it? The whole body becomes tense. In Kum Nye, we're changing patterns or bringing awareness to patterns so that we can soften and change them. So just getting used to one part of the body being tense without it becoming the whole body. Okay, relaxing the buttocks in case you're still trying that. So our feet a few inches apart and the toes turned out slightly. And then this is the point where some of you will go, ah, yes, this exercise. We're bringing our hands up to the sides of the body so the wrists are close to the armpit and the fingers pointing towards the ground. And this should feel strange and awkward, even if you've done this exercise before. Fingers are together. And let's just, can we even be comfortable? Can we relax in this posture without moving? We may find our wrists can move a little bit closer to our armpits. Try not to just jut your chin out like this. Try and keep upright. And just feel where the tension is and relax. Bring relaxation on the breath to that location in the body. And then let your hands slide down the side of your body. So full contact down the side of your body, gently, slowly releasing that posture. Again, you may bring your attention into the body, to any location in the body where there's feeling or sensation. It may be that top of the skull, top of the spine, base of the skull, occiput. Maybe a smile. Because I'm quite a straight-faced person, that always works for me. Just defrosting the facial features a little bit. It's almost like it turns on the tap a little bit for feeling and sensation in the body. And the face, a lot of tension in the face. So if we can, again, if we can relax one part of the face, it has a chain reaction. It can work that way. We relax the jaw by smiling, relax the facial muscles. Sends a message to the rest of the body of safety and security. Anyway, so wholesome vitality. Let's go a little bit further with this exercise. So our toes are still out just a little. Bring our hands up with a smile. So we're not resisting this posture. We're not waiting for it to be over. We're in the movement or in the moment. And we inhale and hold the breath in the chest for a moment. Tighten the buttocks and relax the belly. Just, even if you can't do all those things, just have them in mind. And exhaling, and let the hands slide down the side of the body. And relaxing fully, relaxing everything. This exercise really works for me. Head clear, heart open, and alive, senses alive. But we're all different. So if this isn't one of your favorites, then you just have that as an aspiration. As you continue to do the exercise with a half smile on your face, you just have that aspiration. Head clearer, heart more open, senses alive. So we'll do the full exercise as it's described in the book, and I'll just talk us through it before we do it, because as I say, there's a lot to remember. Toes are out a little bit, soft knees, tighten the buttocks, relaxing the belly, the hands come up in this position. Then we inhale, and then we bend the knees a little. So keeping the back vertical and straight, we bend the knees a little. And then as we exhale, we're going to straighten the legs and let the hands slide down the sides of the body. So don't worry if you can't get it all together in the right direction. Just kindly, gently do what you can. So let's bring our hands up, tighten the buttocks, relaxing the belly. That's already good, isn't it? So that's worth a smile. And then inhaling and hold the breath in your chest between your hands and bend your knees just a little. And then when you're ready, exhaling, straightening the legs and the hands gliding down the sides of the body. Our attention in the body. Maybe you feel different locations. There's feeling, there's sensation. Let that spread to other areas of the body. For me today, my back body, down the back of my body, legs, but also upper body feels sort of lighter, brighter. I don't know, doesn't matter. So I'm just taking a few moments to let that flow, expand, interact with the front of my body. It's all one energy, one space. So certain exercises stimulate feeling in certain locations. So then we let that open and expand, spread throughout the body. We let it open and expand. We don't have to contain it. Usually we want to keep everything tidy. We don't like emotional outbursts. This is different. Energetically, we can let the energies open and expand throughout the body, beyond the body. And let's bring this experience back to our chair. So let's go on a trip back to our cushion and bring the experience with us. And sometimes when we come back to the sitting posture, we can just with humor realize we're imitating the Buddha. Playfully copying, imitating the Buddha. Inspired by his example. Understanding that we have the same potential for enlightenment. And we balance alert yet relaxing. We're grounded, we keep it real. We're not floating off. We're grounded, but we're also spacious and open. And each time we go on a little trip in our mind, as soon as we've realized we've been distracted, we're already back. So light, gentle body awareness, supported by feeling the coming and going of the breath. And today we're just going to take a few more moments with the dedication. So in the Buddhist tradition, this is a skillful way to end a period of formal practice, is to dedicate or to seal the practice so that none of the benefit is lost, so that it may become a cause for our own enlightenment and for the enlightenment of others. And that might sound like too much. If it does, then we can just say, may it become a cause for peace in our life and for peace in others, the lives of others also. And if we do feel our head is more clear, our heart more open, our senses more alive, then we can share that. And if that's not our experience, then that's just our aspiration for ourselves, for others. So we can wish that, but we can also visualize it. So in Kum Nye, we're talking about energy and the flow of energy in our subtle bodies, in our being. So we can imagine, visualize peace and harmony in ourselves, spreading out in all directions, filling out the room we're sitting in and beyond the room. And this might be a new idea to you, but just believing that it makes a difference. Believing that it makes a difference. Something that I've found a bit awkward at the start, to be honest, but I've come to more and more enjoy it. The closing gesture in Kum Nye, where we bring our hands up to our forehead. And for me, how it works is this is where I think, may I be happy, may I be well, may I progress on my path. And we exchange hands, keeping them at the forehead. May I be happy, may I be well. And then as we release our hands in a wide gesture, that's where we think about the others in the group, following today, following via the recording, family, friends, neighbors. Make it all embracing, all inclusive. May all be well, may all be happy. And a little smile, knowing that it's made a difference. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day, have a good week, and see you next time.